we believe in some things that we don't see or experience with our senses. Love being a great example, because we see evidence of love through its effects. Similarly, we cannot see God, but we can see the evidence of His existence through what He did and is still doing. Evidence number 1. God is the best explanation of the origin of the universe. Since the universe exists, and since whatever begins to exist has a cause, the universe has a cause. The question is, what is the cause of the universe? If God would not exist, it would require that either nothing has created the universe or the universe has created itself. Both options are nonsense. Imagine you're walking through a park and you find a pen. Naturally, you would ask, how did this pen get here? If your friend would say, oh, it just exists, without the cause, you would assume that he or she is either joking or just want you to keep moving. You would not assume that they are saying that a pen can exist without the explanation, without the cause. Why? Because the pen needs the explanation for its existence. So what is the cause of the universe? The cause of the universe must be a timeless, spaceless, and immaterial being, God. Everything that begins to exist is dependent, contingent upon something else. But we cannot have an endless series of contingent things. At some point, the process has to start with something that isn't contingent, that isn't dependent. So the point of contingency is that God must exist as an uncaused cause, and He is the source of everything. Philosophers call God a necessary being. The view that there is a necessary being, a creator of the universe, follows logically from the premises that since the universe had a beginning, and since the universe had a cause, God must exist. So God is the best explanation of the origin of the universe. Evidence number 2. God is the best explanation of the complex order in the universe. In recent decades, scientists have been stunned by the discovery of the necessity for the fine-tuning universe. There are around 120 variables that would have to have precise value in order for the universe to come into existence. Several basic physical constants must fall within very narrow limits if intelligent life is to develop. For example, our world's constant gravitational force, the rate of universe expansion, the average distance between stars, the nature of gravity, Earth's distance from the Sun, Earth's rotation period, and even our carbon dioxide levels are so finely tuned for life on our planet that no explanation other than God is logical. The astronomer Fred Hoyle claimed that the probability of life arising on Earth by pure natural means without special divine aid is less than the probability that a Boeing 747 should be assembled by a hurricane roaring through a junkyard. There are 3 possible explanations for the extraordinary fine-tuning of the universe: the law of nature, or chance, or design. The law of nature, they are not, however, a plausible explanation because the finely tuned constants the quantities of the universe are independent of the laws of nature. So, could the fine-tuning be due to chance? The problem with this explanation is that the odds of a life-permitting universe are so small that they are practically equal to zero. For example, atheist Stephen Hawking has estimated that if the rate of expansion, he's talking about universe, was 1 second after the Big Bang, had been smaller by even 1 part in, listen to this, in 100,000 million, the universe would have a recollapse before it ever reached its present size. The former agnostic physicist Paul Davies comments, "Through my scientific work, I have come to believe more and more strongly that the physical universe is put together with an ingenuity so astonishing that I cannot accept it merely as a brute fact." Robert Jastow, the head of NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies, has called this the most powerful evidence for the existence of God ever to come out of science. So we are left with the third and only logical option for the fine and complex order of the universe. If you are walking through the woods and you would find a Legos house, you would not only assume that it was created by an intelligent designer, but also that a child was probably responsible for its creation. On the other hand, if you would find a regular house, you would assume that not only was the house created, but also that the designer was more intelligent than the Lego house builder. Further, we continually increase our knowledge of the complexity of our body. Just one human DNA molecule holds roughly the same amount of coded information as an encyclopedia. And more about this you can watch in my third presentation. Since the best explanation of the fine and complex order in the universe cannot be the natural laws nor chance, the logical conclusion is that design is the best explanation. And where there is a design, there must be a designer. In the case of the creation of the universe, the designer has to be all-powerful, eternal God. So God is the best explanation of the origin of the universe and of the complex order, the design of the universe. Next time, I'm going to present the third argument for God's existence.